Hi everyone, today I wanted to show you all how I make my seamless patterns. In an earlier video I did show that I use custom fabric sometimes, but making your own designs really opens the door for more. So we are going to be making this design here that I made today, or recreating it, should I say. But I'm going to walk you step by step. And the first thing I want to go over is please only use clip art that you are allowed to use, meaning only use it if you are aware of the licensing agreement that it comes with. Not all clip art can be used to sell items with, so please make sure that you look that over. Just because I don't want anyone to get into legal trouble, and a lot of clip art does have copyright with it because the artists, just don't want everyone using their clip art. But I found some clip art here that is free for commercial use, so I'm going to be using that today. I am using Adobe Illustrator, and the first thing we're going to do is create a new artboard. So hit File and New, Custom, and we want it to be 6 by 6 inches height and width, and make sure that the color is CMYK color. This is perfect for printing on fabric, and that this selection here is on high 300. So now we're going to create. I am doing a voiceover too, so sorry if I am a little lagged here. But here is our artboard, and I'm just resizing it just so I can see everything. But the square is what is going to end up being our seamless file. So now I am adding the clip art that I'm going to use today. Again, this clip art comes with free commercial use, so I can use it for my shop. Now the first thing I want to do is to create a background. I don't know what I was doing here, sorry. But I know that we are going to click over to make our background. If you noticed in the seamless pattern, it was like a bluish tint. So I'm going to create a rectangle by hitting the rectangle button, and I'm going to make it a 6 by 6 inch square, and then I'm going to select the color that I want. You can head on over here to color and just, pick out a different color that you want, or you can even select, something from the color guide. This has lots of different swatches you can choose from. Really, whatever look you're going for, you can find a color for it. So I'm picking this color here. And next we want to horizontal align center it, and also vertical align center it. So I'm hitting the horizontal first, and then I'm hitting the vertical, and this makes sure that it's dead center or spot on, so that the background is fully covering our square. Then I found these stars in my clip art, but first I'm going to make sure that my background layer is in fact all the way in the back just by moving it towards the bottom here. So it's my first layer right at the bottom. So now you can actually see the stars, but the stars are a different clip art that I found. And all I'm going to do with this is make sure that it is going to cover the entire square. So I'm just aligning it by pushing it towards the top and horizontally aligning it. Sorry about my text messages coming in, or if you can hear those, I don't know. But now I'm going to copy and paste this. You can also hit copy and paste in the edit here, but I'm just doing Control C and Control V. I'm on a Windows computer here in this video. But there you go. Again, I'm just copying and pasting these and centering them so that they cover my entire background. You can just go simple and only do the blue background that I did. You don't have to do anything further. Sorry again for all of my vibration. I just turned it off. Anyways, now we're going to work on the elements. But here I just wanted to make sure that y'all saw that everything is inside the square for the background. Now I'm working with 4 elements today, and I want to place these right on the top edge there. So the reason that I do this is so that this pattern doesn't seem like it's the first patterns that I've made. Usually a lot of people just put their elements inside the square, but we want to make sure that we come off as professional as possible, even though this is really easy to do, and I'm sure anyone watching this can do this. Now we're going to hit Object, Transform, and Move because we want to move the elements down. So I'm going to hit horizontal 0, vertical 6, just to shift it exactly to the other edge. So everything from the top edge is now moved to the bottom edge. And once we cut everything out, you will realize that it is in fact seamless, meaning once we join the top to the bottom, they come together to form the full elements. Hopefully that makes sense. But now we're going to do the exact same thing with the left edge. So again, I'm moving my elements here because just so we don't come off as like first timers. But again, so here they are on the left, and we are going to again just select both and then move them to the right. So here I am selecting both. We're going to hit object, transform, and then hit move. And this time we're going to move them 6 inches to the right. Now the reason is that we do 6 inches because that's the size of our artboard. So if you're working on a different size artboard, make sure that you use that size. So now all of the elements that are on the outside are going to be seamless. So we did great there. Now what I want to do is copy all of these because we're going to make them smaller and move them in the center. We want to fill up that empty space there. So I'm going to hit copy and paste again. Again, it's just Control C and then Control V on Windows. And then I resize them to 4 inches. So now I'm just moving them around. This part is really just, trial and error, just kind of moving things around, seeing where you like them, how they look, if you moved one thing here versus another thing over there. So it just really depends on what style you're going for. You can even resize the elements if you want them even smaller or whatever you want to do. It's up to you at this point, but I'm just kind of moving them around and I like how they look at this point. So the next thing we are going to do to create our seamless pattern is make another square. This is going to act as our guide for cutting everything else out of the square. So again, 6 by 6 inches, and we are going to center it by hitting horizontal align center and vertical align center. Now everything outside of this dark blue box is going to get cut off. It's going to be like magic. So if you are on a Mac, what you want to do is select everything and then go to object, clipping mask, and select make. But if you are in a Windows, all you do is hit Control A and then Control 7 and bam, it's like magic. So whichever one you want to do, it works the same way. And now I'm going to save this. So I'm going to hit File, Export, Export As, and I like to do JPEG, and then you can title it whatever you want, but I just stuck with the Untitled 6 there. The 5 is the one that I previously made, but this is the one that I recreated. So you want to make sure that again it's on CMYK and that it's the maximum quality, and everything else should look how it is on my screen. Hit OK, and now it is saved. Now the next thing I'm showing y'all is me checking to make sure that it is in fact seamless. So I'm using this cool website, and I'll be sure to link it down below. And all I'm doing is opening my pattern, adding it here. I have permission. You should have permission, guys. Please make sure your clip art, or make sure that the clip art you're using is free to use for commercial. But here I'm just checking to see how everything looks, and this pattern is in fact seamless because you can't tell where it ends or where it starts, and there's no awkward white space. But I did realize that there's like a big gap in between a lot of the elements, so I decided to switch them around a little bit just so that there isn't this gap. If you notice, it is seamless, but sometimes I'm a little picky, and if I can change it, then I will. It is in fact a pretty easy change. So next I'm going to show you if something looks a little off, how to fix it. So we're going back to Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to click anywhere on the pattern and release the mask. There's that release mask button. And now we can click on the elements again and move them around a little bit more. So I'm just moving them more towards the middle, just so that that space isn't as apparent once we repeat it. So again, like I mentioned earlier, this is just kind of the trial and error part to seamless designing. But I like how it looks now. So again, we're going to make our square just to clip out everything centered, horizontal line center, vertical line center, Control A and then Control 7. And I'm going to save this again by exporting as, and I'm just going to export, and it's going to override the one that we saved earlier. So click yes and then click OK. And then I'm going back to this website so I can check to see if it is in fact how I like it and if we're going to be using it as the final product, which, spoiler alert, it is. But here I am again just showing you the steps of how I make sure that it is seamless and just looking at it overall if I like how it looks. Now this is perfect, ideal to my liking. You might need to do this a few times, but overall with these steps you should come to a good outcome like this. So now we're back in Adobe, and I would just, as you can stop here, but as a final thing I wanted to show you how you can save it in a different format. So all I'm going to do is click anywhere in my design and resize it to 3 inches because I'm going to actually repeat this 4 times over the square. So we're going to horizontally align it to the left and vertically align it to the top. And then I'm just going to move the object 3 times just to get it to repeat. And the reason that I don't just copy and paste is because we want everything to be exactly where it is, meaning, that it hits every edge. And you can tell that it is in fact seamless in the middle here. So I'm just going to repeat this 2 more times. And again, the only reason I'm doing this is if you want to save it in this different format. Sometimes different formats work differently for scaling. So the one that we saved it in previously would be great, but if you want to show more of how it repeats, then this is a great way to save it as well. So again, I'm just transforming it, moving it so that we get 4 equal parts and they're all spaced to cover the square, aka our artboard. So here's the final result, and as you can see, it just looks, you can just tell more what the pattern is going to look like once it's repeated onto fabric. So this is a great way to save it as well, especially if you want to eventually sell some of your designs. But please look into again the clip art and make sure you can sell the clip art. But that is basically it for how to make this seamless pattern. Oops, sorry. The only other thing I can think of, let me see. I honestly think that that's it. So thank you all for watching, and if you have any additional questions, please make sure to ask down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.